our new show. The show is called The Quit List. This is the show where we're going to hit it. We're going to talk about things that Black people ought to quit doing. That's right. Things that you should give up, you should disengage from, and reposition yourself so that you're able to hit new heights, hit those successes, and do the things that you want to be doing in life. Today on the show, I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues. Well, we got Gavin Jackson. Gavin is an attorney. Gavin is also a businessman and entrepreneur. Gavin, welcome to the show.
Man, thanks for having me, Doc. Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
And we're also joined by Jeremiah Kamara. Jeremiah is an author and a filmmaker. Jeremiah is one extraordinary dude. Jeremiah, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate being here.
All right. And just so you guys know out there, we are doing this live. So we'd like for you to go ahead and share. If you have Facebook, I'm going to do that right now. So give me just a second while I share it up, and then we're going to hit it and quit it. All right, so I'm going to go on Indie TV and see if I can share it from Indie TV onto my Facebook page, which looks like I'm a little technically challenged. So looks like I'm not going to be able to share right now because I want to get going right in. The one thing I want to say is that as we go through, since this is the quit list, you might see us talking about the concept of hit it and quit it. Anytime you hear me say hit it or quit it, hit it means yes, I like that. Let's go for it. Quit it means no, that's terrible idea. Black people ought to stop doing it. Hit it. Yes. Quit it. Get out of here with that garbage. This is what I'm talking about. All right, let's hit it with the first issue. The first issue we're going to talk about today is rioting and looting. Rioting and looting. Just recently in the city of Chicago, we've had a myriad of riots and looting take place. Now, as you guys already know, this started back with the George Floyd incident, has been perpetuating itself throughout that time. Well, right now, just this past weekend, a couple of days ago, we have had a massive amount of incidents where people have been looting. So the first issue I want to talk about here is, should Black people quit looting? In other words, is that a form of protest or not? Should we be on them for looting? Gavin, let me go to you. What do you think about the idea of looting? Should Black people be engaged? Should we be criticizing and critiquing Black people for looting?
So I definitely think that you have to look at the perspective of what may have brought on the looting, what may have brought on the rioting, before you even begin to discuss, is it appropriate? So rioting is an irrational response, right? It's irrational to kick windows in and snatch items out that don't belong to you.
Hey, Gavin, something just happened. Gavin, I was hearing you.
Those things are not rational behavior. But I do believe that sometimes irrational situations can bring on an irrational response. So when you see, for instance, with George Floyd, you see a police officer standing on a brother's neck for 8 minutes until he dies, basically executing him in public. That's irrational. So an equally irrational response to me can be completely understood given the circumstance.
So what do you think, Jeremiah? Looting, okay or no?
Well, I mean, I agree with Gavin. Martin Luther King said that rioting is the language of the unheard. And so Blacks have been unheard for so long. There are some people who will support what we do. They say, well, hey, this is, the conqueror is never going to share what he has with you anyway. So we're going to go out and take it and get it and do what we do. But what does it lead to? What's the end result? What's the goal? What is our purpose?
Okay, wait a minute. So you're saying what is the end result of looting?
Yeah, what is our goal for if you loot? What's the purpose of it? I think that all of our actions should have a purpose to it.
So it sounds like what I'm hearing you say is that we should not be looting. We should be condemning.
I can't say that we should not be doing it. I mean, because they should not be doing what has led to the looting in the first place. But I'm saying just random looting for the sake of it, without any purpose of it. That's my thing. And it's hard to have a reason, a purpose behind, looting. I didn't know about the incident that went on in Chicago. This is my first time hearing about it, but we've been doing that here in Atlanta, but as far as looting is concerned, back in the 1600s and 1700s and 1800s, they never suspected that May and June and July of 2020 was coming. But this is the result of something that has been brewing for many, many years, and we're here now. So we've got to deal with it. But I mean, it's not a question of how can we be looting, but how could this not be happening now?
Right. Well, one of the things that
I just jump in because I just have a slight disagreement. I think we're on the same page, but the idea that there has to be a purpose and outcome, I actually disagree with. So, like a famous example of looting or rioting is the Boston Tea Party. That was looting, that was rioting, that was somebody destroying property that wasn't theirs to bring attention to something. Tossing all of this, what would be the equivalent of tens of millions of dollars worth of product into the harbor in Boston, that had a purpose. But sometimes things are just an expression. Like if you stub your toe on the corner of the table and you yell out, ouch, yelling out, ouch has no purpose. Screaming out in pain doesn't bring you to an end. It is literally just an expression from what you've just experienced. Sometimes I think that's all that riots and looting are. It's just an expression of what someone is experiencing, and no, it doesn't have a purpose or an outcome.
And I agree with that.
Sometimes that's how things start.
I agree with that, but we've made those expressions in the 60s. We've made those expressions in the 70s. We've made those expressions in the 80s and the 90s. How long? What are we trying to express? This expression has to lead. It has to go somewhere. It has to lead to something. We can't be, 20 years from now saying ouch and expressing ourselves and the same things just keep happening. So I'm saying this, that may not be the best thing that we need to be doing. So we're smart enough to figure out what it is that we need to be doing, but looting might not be the best way because we've been doing this for 40 years.
Well, I suspect
we keep coming back to point one, ground zero.
I suspect that the people who are actually looting are not the people that are necessarily the critical thinkers in the community. And I'm not suggesting that those people who are looting are not intelligent people. What I'm saying is
you're kind of suggesting that, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm kind of, but that's not my point. Thank you. That's not my point. That I am inferring that, but I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting is that the people who are looting are going to most likely be people in the most oppressed areas, the people who have suffered the most at the hands of the racist system that we live in. So in other words, in Chicago, the community of Inglewood, for example, is one of the lowest economic communities in the city. Most likely, you're going to find the people in those communities because they have suffered the most at the hands of the police. They're the ones getting their feet on the neck, not the ones living in suburbia America. So if that is the case, then the people that are looting are people who are doing it because it is a reaction to the oppression that they've been feeling. Whereas other people are sitting in their comfortable homes and we're not feeling it as much. Not that systematic racism does not permeate the entire society, but we don't feel it as much as certain people. So I believe that the people that are doing it are the people that are at the lowest economic rungs. And if that's true, then that means that those are not necessarily the people that are trying to doing it to change the establishment or change the laws. These are people that are doing it as a reactionary measure. In other words, if you have your foot on my neck, I'm going to punch you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to try to get you off of me. And I think that is a reaction, not so much a strategy. That is not a strategy of how we fight systematic racism.
Well, that means that the issue really is economics then. Because if we were in better positions economically, then perhaps we would not be, doing these kinds of things. So the issue goes back to economics. I do know a guy personally who looted, and he went downtown.
Jeremiah, yeah. Stop right there. I want to hear this story. I'm going to bring in Kim. Kim is she's going to join us right now, and then I do want to hear about your friend.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, we're just been joined by Street. All right, Kim, how's it going? We appreciate you being here. Kim is amazing. Kim does it all. You name it, she does it. She is an entrepreneur extraordinaire.
I'm trying to hold this thing. Okay, go ahead.
So, Kim, why
you just brought the troublemaker in here. When you bring in Kim, you brought the troublemaker in here.
All right. Yeah, Kim is a troublemaker. In fact, he said chemistry is a troublemaker.
Oh, so radical, so radical.
Yeah, Kim is a troublemaker. She is radical, and she is, in fact, an agitator. I'm going to go back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you were telling us about your friend who actually participated in the looting.
Well, I know two or three. Some people don't even like to call it looting, but we're just using that word. Payback, but are getting theirs. I mean, I've heard all kinds of things, but we'll just keep it simple. But I asked him, what are you looting? What was your plan? And what's your purpose? What are you all's goal down there? He said to bring about equality. And I just don't think that should be Black people's goal, to bring about equality. First of all, how can 13%, according to the numbers, be equal to anything, in this society, be 50% of anything? You're 13%. But I don't know of any conqueror. I've never read or heard of any conqueror that steals your land, steals your goods, steals your resources, steals your people, and then turns around and shares what he's stolen with you equally. If that was the case, that would have rendered slavery in vain. You had 600,000 white folk that died to keep us enslaved. This country is rigged. And so it is inequality by design. It's not about picking up yourself by you're picking up your bootstraps and working hard and believing in the American dream. That's an illusion. It's just like when you go to
Jeremiah, I think what you're saying is true. That is an illusion. In fact, a lot of Black people didn't have shoes. In fact, a lot of Black people didn't even have feet because they cut one feet off when they tried to escape from slavery. But
that's what he told me. That's what he told me. He was doing it for equality. I just want to know the reasons. Before I'm against what they're doing, I wanted to hear why are you down there? What is your goal? What are you doing? And I understand the frustration, but like I said, we've done that in the 60s. We've done it in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and nothing.
You said your friend said that he was doing it for.
He wasn't really my friend. He's somebody I knew, a young guy.
Well, someone that you know. He was doing it for payback. And one thing that I noticed, Kim, I want you to weigh in on this. One thing that I noticed, we're talking about the looters. In terms of the looters, when I looked at Facebook, social media, what I saw is a lot of people responding. The Black people were saying something. Well, there were two camps of Black folk. There's one camp which said we should not be looting. This is ridiculous. It has nothing to do with the fight, nothing to do with the struggle. There's another camp of Black people who are saying this is payback. One person said this is early reparations. Now, I heard nothing like that from white folk. White folk were saying lock them up. One person said this. They said shoot them in the leg so they can't steal anymore. Call in the National Guard. Kim, what do you think?
Well, first I heard a lot of Black people saying the exact same thing. Shoot them, kill them. We had a couple of friends that said that. That they should kill them. They should go to jail. Well, Jeremiah, I actually agree with part of what you were saying. I think us trying to be equal to them, first of all, is senseless, because how can they be equal to us? That's what they're trying to do, be equal to us. So I don't ever try to be equal to them. because with 13% or 1%, we still are the largest population in this world. So I don't just look at us as a minority. I look at me as a worldwide group, not just in America group, first of all. So that way I don't limit myself to just 13%.
Let me ask you.
But go ahead.
So do you believe that we should condemn the looters?
I think we should do exactly what white people do when their youth misbehave. One of the things they do is they check their background, see was their father in the house, see what type of trauma they had, see how can we solve this so that it doesn't happen again, or so we can fix them instead of just putting them away in jail. So those are the things I think we should do. Because because regardless of whether somebody white kills a bunch of people, kill one person, or kill their parents, they always say, well, why did they do this? So I think we should start asking some questions to our youth. Why, what is it in your mindset that thinks that you should go downtown, tearing up things, causing thousands of dollars in damage, and not think that there's going to be a consequences? Or even if you think there is going to be a consequence to it, why do you think you should do it just because? The excuses they're making with reparations, that's stupid. All that stupid stuff. And that's just people that don't know better. And I get that. But most of these people were young people. Of course, there were adults involved, but these are young people under the age of 18. Why? We never look at our children like they're children, you know? And it's like, I have to say, my youngest son is 25 years old. And even though he's 25, I know some of the decisions he make, I'm looking at him like, dude, you 12 or what? You know, because right,
stop right there, chemistry. Stop right there. All right, so I want to wrap up topic number 1, because we need to go to issue number 2, Kamala Harris. But before we go to issue number 2 and talk about Kamala Harris, what I'd like to do, I just want to find out in a lightning round, I want to know, should we hit it or quit it? Now, what we're talking about here is whether we should condemn the looters. Hit it means, yes, we ought to be condemning these folk. Quit it means, no, stop condemning these people who are looting because they're on the front lines just as much as us. That's a loaded question. Jeremiah, what do you think? Should we condemn the looters? Hit it or quit it?
I say quit it. We need to condemn the reasons why they're looting in the first place.
Gavin.
Even as an entrepreneur and my business was financially affected by looting, I still cannot bring myself to condemn these people. So I am not going to quit it when it comes to people expressing themselves violently as a reaction to a violent situation.
Very good. Chemistry, hit it or quit it? Stop condemning the woman or no?
I said stop condemning them.
Okay, very good. Issue number 2, Kamala Harris. Just yesterday, Joe Biden just announced that he has selected his running mate, which is Kamala Harris. And ever since that time, the community has lost its mind. So what I want to know is, what should we be thinking about Kamala Harris / Joe Biden as a ticket? I want to go to you, Gavin, first on this. What do you think about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it, particularly the choice of Kamala. Joe Biden is the most practical choice to end the trauma. So maybe not the first choice, but the most practical choice to defeat Donald Trump, which to me is the most important thing that we need to do as a nation, as my personal opinion. I think his choice of Kamala helps him do those things and helps him govern. I know a lot of people want to say, you know, oh my God, Kamala was a prosecutor and she's locked up black men and she should be judged for that. And I think that's the stupidest thing in the world. That was her job as a prosecutor, working in a racist system, and people don't want to even look at how she reformed the system that she worked in. She's smarter than most of these people. She makes white folks cry. She makes white senators cry in hearings. That is not an exaggeration. She made Justice Kavanaugh cry when she questioned him. She's tough. She's smart. And it advances us as a nation. And at the end of the day, if you want to get something done, ask a black woman to do it. So I'm happy. Right. I'm very happy about that.
Okay, I want to hear what Jeremiah is going to say. I know Kim is jumping at the bit to get in on this because she's going to she's going to disagree probably with every word that just came out of your mouth. And I know this is going to happen, but I'm going to come back to you. Jeremiah, what do you think? What about Kamala Harris, Joe Biden?
I think we're going to be better off going to chemistry, because I am not that into politics. I just heard that she, was chosen by him as running mate. I do not feel compelled to pick a team, whether it be Democrats or Republicans. Those are the Genoveses and the Gambinos. They're the same people. And so I don't trust Biden. I don't know anything about Kamala Harris. I know that you can't vote for being a good father. You can't vote for bringing attention to your children. You can't vote for eating right. You can't vote for exercising. You can't vote for supporting your Black businesses and supporting one another. So those are things that are our issues that we need to focus on. You got groups out here that don't vote, like, as much like the Koreans, and you have to go to them to get your hair from the top of your hair to the bottom of your feet. You want a massage, a pedicure, manicure, and that's a multi-billion-dollar business. And that didn't come about for aligning themselves with one particular party or the other party. So I wouldn't care who's, in there. I think we could do a lot better than the path that we're on. And that's trusting that somebody that in some representative is going to be speaking for us. And I don't trust any of them.
Chemistry.
Jeremiah, where you been, bro? I agree with everything you just said. Everything you just said, I agree with. And I just posted something very similar yesterday, just like that, saying the exact same things. Anyway, so Gavin, totally disagree with you. Kamala Harris, yes, she was a. Oh, can you guys still hear me?
We can hear you.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, good. Sorry, I think my phone was
put your car,
so it told me it was too hot. It's like 107 here. But anyway, so
hold on, stop. Chemistry. Something just happened with your phone. You are sideways, so I got a problem.
So let me respond to Jeremiah.
Yes.
Because I do believe that this idea that both parties are the same is what got us in this situation today.
Well, let me clarify myself. Let me clarify myself. Let me clarify myself just for a second. I don't know that much about the parties to speak on whether they're the same or they're different, but I do know this. A white Democrat.
As if they're,
that's why I'm clarifying myself now. That's why I'm clarifying myself now. A white Democrat and a white Republican, they see themselves as over you. So when the stuff hits the fan, they're over you. They have more privileges than you do as a Black person.
I think you still have to.
So I just don't. I'm not into aligning myself with a particular team.
You don't have to align yourself. It's not about aligning yourself. It's about analyzing what's going on with the world today. The differences in what Donald Trump is doing as a president versus what Hillary Clinton would have done. I was not a Hillary Clinton fan. And we heard a lot of these arguments, like there's no difference between the two of them. And so people try to bring this argument up with Kamala. That's not the case. Sometimes people are so stupid and so bad that it leads to the death of 170,000 people. That's not, little death. It leads to the loss of jobs. We're at 10% unemployment in some places 13%. People without jobs, that's a big deal. We have a president right now that is intentionally slowing down U.S. mail. Some people are not getting their paycheck. Some people are not getting their medicine. There's some things that are so bad that we can't say, well, no, everybody's just the same. This is a white person and that's a white person and they're all the same. I think that thinking is over.
Well, we'll see, Gavin. We'll see. We'll see when
somebody like Kamala is 100 times smarter and 1,000 times better than Donald Trump. And she's a Black woman that has gone through the experience of being Black. Let's give her a chance. So I'm really adamant about supporting her and supporting the possibility of bring to the table.
So I'm with you, Gavin, on this. I agree with you 100%. Jeremiah, are you actually saying that you don't see any difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
I don't really get into what Trump and things like that. I have a solar system. I have my family. I have employees. I hire young black felons. This is my 22nd black felon that I've hired this month. I just am not one of those people that spend time focusing on what Donald Trump is doing and what he's saying. I'm not one of those people. I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the CNN since late February or early March. And I feel good about that. And so I cannot give you the details of what Trump is doing or what he's saying or what Kamala Harris is about. I do know that the things that we need to work on as Black people, in many ways, I'm sure there are some political things that we could focus on. And I do think that the politics in your local county is good. I can see that. Absolutely. But I'm not going to pretend like I'm privy to the information that went on behind some locked door, and now CNN is giving it to me straight. CNN, the news is not honest, so I don't know what's going on. I don't even try to keep up with all those things. When my mother, when Trump became president, she said something that's kind of funny though. I said, Mother, Trump is the new president. She said, well, he stay out of my way, I'll stay out of his way. And I just know that there are many groups that are not obsessed with Trump or Kamala Harris or whoever else, and they're doing well because they're voting with their money. They're putting their money together and they're doing what they're supposed to do. I am not convinced that whoever is in office is, going to lead my life in a better direction.
Okay, no, you can absolutely live above.
We've only got a few more minutes. We've only got a few more minutes left. Gavin, go ahead, and then I want to hear from Kim, and we're wrapping up. Go ahead, Gavin.
No, so I agree with Jeremiah. Like, it's our job to live above the politics. Like, we can't let what's going on, whoever's in office, stifle us as individuals. We as Black people have always had to make our way no matter who was in office. I'm just saying sometimes things are so bad in the office that you can't escape it. Like a national pandemic or a nuclear war, there are some things that will touch all of us. And I think what we have in office now is that bad. And people like chemistry back in the day said, well, there's no difference between the parties. There's no difference between Hillary and Trump. And here we are with 170,000 people dead. We have tens of millions of people unemployed. There's a little bit of a difference.
Dead from what? Dead from what? Dead from what?
Look,
dead from what?
That's another topic. If we don't,
I'm just saying, but that's according to the news. That's the numbers. Numbers are very easily to manipulate.
Absolutely.
They really
are. Maybe Herman Cain just died because he loved Donald Trump.
Herman Cain had a 7-year-old. They had a 7-year-old. He had stage 4 cancer also. He had stage 4 cancer. So
when they had a 7-year-old said was the youngest victim who died here in Georgia, and they said he tested positive. But you didn't say that he died of. They said he died.
No, I get it.
After
some people, you don't have to believe it.
That's a whole different subject right there.
That's a different subject
right there. Kim, go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say. You got about
as a Black woman, as the only Black woman on here, I want to hear your perspective.
Okay, first of all, I'm against Harris. I'm against Biden. I totally agree with Jeremiah. I think that we need to look at this voting thing totally different. That's why I made the post about the ages. I totally agree with everything he says. And that's why
Are you going to vote? Are you going to vote in November?
I will not be voting. This has been my first time in 36 years not voting. I've been voting since I was 18. My mom mailed my vote, my absentee ballot to me away in college to make sure I voted. My mom is 83. She said this is her first time not voting, and she's been voting for 65 years. So because me, I will not be voting. I'm not for. Hold on, I'm not for Biden. I'm not for Kamala Harris. And I think that we need to look at things a little bit differently, and we need to request things from these people, demand them. The things that we need from them don't have nothing to do with voting.
Yeah,
so maybe if
anything from them if you don't vote.
Actually, we can. We've been demanding things for them, as my mother said, for 65 years since she was 14 and since she was 18 from voting. She's been demanding things, and she's still waiting for them. And she's 83 this year.
All right.
She's still waiting.
Let me just say this:
the only reason you can drive right now is because somebody voted.
You know what I'm saying? Like women were not allowed to drive. The only reason you can
my
walk in
mom
public
has a
is
dog.
because somebody voted.
My mom has a dog bite on her arm that she makes sure she shows all of us, and she has been since I was a kid. Where the police dog bit her from trying to register to vote, and she still says that. She still says the same thing she was asking for 65 years ago. Black people are still asking for it now. So we've been asking and voting at 99% to 30%, and we're still not getting anything.
So
It's time for a change. It's time for a change.
We're getting something.
Hold on.
No, what we getting? What we getting?
Chemistry.
Obama didn't do shit. Obama didn't do shit. So what we getting?
This a family show.
Chemistry.
I'm sorry. Obama didn't get nothing. My bad.
Chemistry, please. Yeah, right. This is a family show, so refrain from
Tell y'all kids to leave the room.
Listen to me. We've got 30 seconds left. So we're done with the show for the day. We will pick back up next time. I want to find out from you. I think I already know the answer from Chemistry. This is my hit it and quit it. Chemistry, in terms of voting, hit it means yes, quit it means no. Hit it or quit it. Kim says no. Gavin, hit it or quit it. Voting.
Absolutely have to hit it. Got to vote for a black woman that graduated from a historically black college.
East Indian.
Hands up to the East Indians.
Jeremiah, hit it or quit it.
I would say quit it. This system is rigged. Okay, so we have to find other avenues.
Y'all
let me just say this. Let me just say this. As far as like a casino is concerned, right? When you go to a casino, you have certain casinos whose winnings are set at a certain percentage. Black people's winnings are set at a certain percentage that are very low. So there are going to be some blacks that will win when they play the slot machine. But overall, for black people, this system is rigged, and we're never going to get equality.
You better be a good black
folks. I'm going to mute everybody's mic in 2 seconds. This show is over. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gavin.
Gavin, it was good.
I miss you.
Thank you, man.
I miss you too, Gavin.
Well, look, for you guys, share the video. Come back next time. We'll be able to hit it and quit it. Some more extraordinary topics. We'll hear from Chemistry, and we'll hear what she got to say about voting. I sense that Gavin thinks we ought to drill down, dig deeper into this topic. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Camped out at home for COVID?
Bye,
Join
you guys.
Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.